It has been approximately 2 years since I started this YouTube channel. Actually, it was November of 2023. I started this YouTube channel and something happened that I never had happen to me in my 2 years of doing this. But as I start today's video, let me introduce myself. My name is Ben Alexander, and I'm the founder of Ben's Allergy and Restaurant Reviews. And I do restaurant reviews. I review products like foods and just the fine, basically, most of it's dairy-free, all of it's dairy-free, nut-free, and tree nut-free, because those are my allergies. I'm allergic to dairy, peanuts, and tree nuts. And as you're going to see today, you're going to see the repercussions of eating dairy, peanuts, and tree nuts, eating one of those free. So yeah, let's get into the video. So I went to a place called 1801 Tavern in Powell, Ohio. And I go to church in Powell, and it was right across the street from my church. So I was like, well, this is a great restaurant to review. And I look at the menu, and I see that there's a vegan, gluten-free crust. And I also saw that there was vegan cheese. Because I was looking at the menu, I was like, well, there's wings, there's burgers, there's other stuff there too on their menu. But I was like, this pizza has to be it. And then obviously I had the fries too. And, well, I was in the restaurant, I was eating the pizza. I felt something a little funny, and then afterwards, it started to get worse and worse. I was like, am I psyching myself into allergic reaction? And I ended up going to sit in the parking lot for a couple minutes thinking I was going to puke. I didn't puke, because normally when I have an allergic reaction, I puke. So I was like, well, this is weird. So I went to the UDF, which is pretty much right next to the restaurant too, and I went there, and then I'm like, well, let's go to Parlor Donuts, because my family actually wanted to try Parlor Donuts, because I did an allergy restaurant review of Parlor Donuts yesterday, so you could go check that out. And I was trying to film for that restaurant review, get donuts for everybody, but I went in the Parlor Donuts, went into the restroom, saw my face. It's like, this is definitely an allergic reaction, Ben. You need to use your AviQ. And I've never used an AviQ in my entire life, ever. And then I basically used my AviQ for the first time and called my mom or texted my mom and said, or actually I called my mom and said, I'm having an allergic reaction. And then my mom was sick from church, so she called my dad and my brother, and they came to Parlor Donuts. My brother got me a donut, and the family the donuts that I was supposed to get. And then my dad took me to urgent care in Marysville, because that's what my parents decided to do, is throw me in urgent care. And urgent care said, we really can't help you. You got to go to the ER. So I ended up going to the ER, spending a couple hours in the ER. As you can see here, these are my pictures my dad took. Thanks, Dad, for taking the pictures. I really appreciate it. And yeah, so that was kind of my afternoon. So what did cause the allergic reaction? So as you can see on the receipt, it said gluten-free cauliflower crust. I want you to look at the menu. Where does it say cauliflower crust on it? I want you to take a look at the left-hand corner, because it said vegan, gluten-free. And I told the guy I had a dairy allergy. I told the guy that I wanted vegan cheese. The vegan cheese was fine. Like, I could tell it was vegan cheese. Like, my biggest concern. It's like, holy cow, are they going to screw up vegan cheese with actual cheese? Like, honestly, because I'm highly allergic to dairy, and as you can see, I broke out in hives, and it was pretty bad. And the reactions have been different. Like, I remember in high school, I had a bite of a Wendy's cheeseburger, and within a half an hour, I ended up puking it. So my allergic reactions are very different and all over the place. So to me, it's very, very weird, but it is what it is too. So yeah. But yeah, and then I tried calling them Monday, the day after it all happened. And then Dad ended up calling them. My dad ended up calling them and was like, what's going on? Like, why did my son basically have an allergic reaction? And they said that the cauliflower crust had dairy in it and eggs in it. And it's like, I had no idea. First off, I'm not a cauliflower crust guy anyway. I'm not Mr. Cauliflower. So I probably would have not ordered it anyway if I knew it had cauliflower in it. Secondly, where in the menu does it say cauliflower crust? Where can you find it? I feel like this is very false advertising because I was thinking vegan. I was like, well, it's vegan, right? No animal products, no dairy, no eggs. Like, that's the antithesis of a vegan. Like, that's crazy. Even vegans. If you're a vegan watching this, you know, you probably think that this restaurant is crazy and has false advertising too. You'd be outraged too because it's like, well, I expected to not eat any animal products, but now I'm eating animal products. But for me, it's an allergy, not a choice. I wish I could have dairy. You know, I wish I could have all the mac and cheese, pizza, ice cream that was dairy filled and not have to worry about allergic reaction. I'd do anything to do that. I would love to have the same feeling you guys have. Not being able to worry about going out to eat at restaurants like I do. And there are a lot of good restaurants, and restaurants have gotten a lot better over the years for food allergies. And I feel like I've navigated it pretty well for the most part, but sometimes it's just a mistake. And I should have asked, hey, does vegan mean dairy or eggs in it? It's kind of hard because it's like you assume a vegan crust would mean it doesn't have any of that, but quite frankly, that's the biggest lesson that I learned that I was very surprised about. So I'm going through my notes on my phone. I wrote a whole script about this. I'm trying to make sure that I don't skip anything. And I went on a ChatGPT and Google and kind of came up with definitions of what vegan is according to them. And I don't know how on earth the restaurant 1801 Tavern could have not looked at ChatGPT or Google for these definitions to make up a mind when it comes to vegan stuff. And look at the ingredients and double check that this gluten-free cauliflower pizza crust was in fact dairy-free and egg-free. It should have been 100% vegan, but they failed in that part. And all it is a simple chat GPT and transparency. The fact that they weren't transparent with me and they didn't know what vegan was and what wasn't, and they mislabeled it. That's the things we need to get out of the restaurant community. This is what happens when we have allergic reactions. Luckily I'm not dead, but somebody else could have been dead because they mislabeled something. And there are going to be people saying, well, why don't you just stay home and just suck and rot your life at home? It's like, oh, why would I do that? Why would I want to rot my life at home? You know what I mean? Like, and plus, this is a mislabeling issue too. You know, grocery store brands could mislabel things too. I can't name an example because it hasn't happened to me. But, well, actually, I take that back. I've seen great value coffee creamers have dairy in it. They label them as non-dairy, but then they have dairy in it. So I'm sitting there like, wow, this is really, really bad. I can't believe that at least, that was about a year or two ago, and I even was talking to my coworkers who knew about my food allergies, like, look, this is ridiculous. Look at this. Look at this mislabeling. And they're like, wow, that's crazy, you know. That shouldn't be that way. Where it's like, it's just clear mislabeling in this country, and it's a problem. And, you know, and obviously the next thing is you expect me to grow on a farm. It's like, I don't live on a farm. I don't live on a farm. It's like I can't grow my own food. It's like it just seems like there are people in the comments that want to say, "Oh, eat at home," poor restaurant worker that has to deal with food allergies. It's another stressor for them. Yes, that's why I propose allergen menus. And the consumer can go online and see what is dairy free and what isn't, and read the ingredients before they order, and then they can make a decision whether they should go to this restaurant or not. That's my whole purpose of this whole channel. And I get upset when people are trying to discredit people for food allergies, and there's 33 million people with food allergies. And basically, I'm not allowed to go to a restaurant. These people think that I shouldn't be allowed to go to a restaurant because I have something that I can't control. And plus, anyway, I have family, friends that I eat out with at restaurants. So basically, I just have to skip that and just eat nothing. What would I eat? Grass? It's like, sorry, I had to make a comment about those people because there are going to be people in the comment section that are going to tell me to eat at home and, you shouldn't expect society to cater to you. I'm not. I'm expecting transparency and honest labeling. If it has dairy in it, great. If it doesn't, then I can eat it. Because when there is honest labeling, and I have 50 million, I have a lot of videos having plenty of great experiences at restaurants too. It's just one of those things where I'm just very, very frustrated with the lack of food allergy education in this country. And you don't know what it's like. It's like, what happens if that was your child that had a dairy allergy? So basically you're going to shelter your child at home? I mean, are you really wanting to do that? I guess it's your kid. You could do whatever you want, but I just don't know if that's going to be it's not sustainable because you have to go out in the public and interact with people. You can't just DoorDash every day in the rest of your life. And, the DoorDash people could get something wrong. They could get the wrong food item, and then I end up having an allergic reaction there too. So that's my reasons against it. And I know I'm just saying this for the people that are going to come to my comments and say that I'm a burden on society for asking restaurants to cater to people with food allergies. No, I'm not. I just want one. If I can have one menu item, even if it's just French fries, for example, Huey Magoo's, they have dairy in all their chicken, grilled chicken, fried chicken, but they have fries that are dairy free. So I've eaten their fries before, and I love Huey Magoo's fries. They're pretty good. But I'm just asking a restaurant to have accommodation that's allergen friendly, dairy free. And, people have lactose intolerance problems too, anyway, in this country too. And a lot of the restaurants, you can find something like that, where I'm just trying to, and I guess it's the restaurant's right to not have any dairy-free options there. Okay, I can give you that one, but it would be nice to have an allergy-free option, especially with 33 million people with food allergies. I think it's a good idea for restaurants to do that. But the one thing that I can't get over is lying and mislabeling, basically. That's the one thing where I'm going to put my foot to the ground and say, no, we are not doing this anymore. This is dangerous. This is going to kill people. Because at the end of the day, that's why I started this channel, is to try to spread food allergy education. And I have lived with food allergies my whole entire life. I've dealt with it since I was a baby. I know what it's like, and I know how to navigate restaurants with food allergies. But I need the restaurants to help me out and make sure that everything's transparent. And that's, in all the 2 years, that's the only allergic reaction I had. I'll take it. But again, we need all restaurants to have transparency laws and all that stuff. And I went to the FACT conference. I've been to the FACT conference back-to-back years. And they've said that the European laws are stronger than the U.S. laws when it comes to food allergy and all that stuff. So yeah, that's kind of one of those things where I think as a country we have gotten better. I'm going to say that, but there still has got to be more progress. And I'm not going to sit here and not forgive 1801 Tavern for any of this. I want to give them an opportunity to reach out to me to make it right. Please email me, ben@bensallergyrestaurant.com. You know what? I'll come and write an allergen menu for you for free and make sure what happened on Sunday will not happen again for anybody else. Because that's why I do this. Is because I'm trying to stop allergic reactions, and I'm trying to highlight the severity of food allergies for people in this country. Because it seems like a lot of people don't take them very seriously, or they just don't have family members that have gone through stuff like this. Because trust me, all the friends in my life, when I say I have a dairy allergy, they're all like, they take it very seriously. And I'm so thankful for those people that are like, you know, they hear I have a food allergy and they're like, wow, this is serious. You know, let's not play around with this. And I definitely appreciate that. And again, I would love to continue to help this restaurant succeed too, but right now I just can't recommend it because it's just, sorry, I'm looking at my phone making sure I get my script done, but I just can't look at this restaurant and say this is a great place for food allergies, even though I just had an allergic reaction here. Like, I can't say that. That's crazy. That's crazy for me to say, you know what? I'm going to put my reputation online and tell people with food allergies to go ahead to 1801 Tavern. Not with the current laws. Not with the current menu. Not with what happened. I'm sorry. But in the future, things can change. I can come back and I can try to mend the fence. Again, I'm not going to be mad forever about this restaurant, but I'm not going to give you a good review and recommend it, you know? Like, you gave me an allergic reaction because of a mislabeling. And I want to educate people and be like, all right, I want to know what's in the ingredients. Let me create an allergen menu for you. For example, let me go to Papa John's right here. This is what I'm talking about. This is what you could have. And how many allergic reactions do you think Papa John's has because of mislabeling? My guess is 0. Because it's literally right there on the internet. On the internet, right there. Plain and simple. And they have the crust. You know, what allergens are present in the crust. It's like, this is what I'm asking for. I'm not asking to change the wheel completely. I'm not asking for something that's not realistic, because other restaurants have it. And if I need to write restaurants for free, or if we can have the other food allergy community and have a bunch of people write allergen menus for these restaurants, if that's what's it going to take to get every allergen menu in the United States to have an allergen menu. We got people in the food allergy community to help write allergen menus for people, to help build to build a safe system where everybody has transparency when it comes to knowing what's in your food. I mean, why would we not do that? Like, I'm not saying that restaurants have to pay, and I'm sure they're going to say, well, we don't have the money to pay. It's like, well, then let's just, food allergy community, let's volunteer and write them for them. You know, let's go into the restaurant or through email and be like, hey, give me the list of all the ingredients. Give me a picture of the ingredients to all your food products that you have in the store and all your items. And, maybe it's just a meeting with them. I have no idea. We got a lot of creative ideas. We could do a Zoom meeting where it'd be like, okay, what allergens does this menu have? Or what allergens does this item contain? And then they list the items. And again, I want to be part of the solution, not the problem. And people that think that I'm a burden, look, I can't control it. If I could control it, I wouldn't have a dairy allergy. This is not fun. Do I want to be in an emergency room watching NFL football? Again, I love watching NFL football. Great. I love watching football. But I'd rather be watching NFL football from my living room and my couch at my house than sitting at a hospital room waiting for an allergic reaction to pass. The funny thing is, obviously it's not very funny, more like sad thing, but it is a kind of ironic. So after I left and Dad took me to urgent care, my brother went and grabbed parlor donuts for everybody. He went to my grandma's house because they were eating lunch at grandma's house. And yeah, my grandma was in the emergency room too. So my dad was with me, and then once my dad realized that I was fine, then he went to check on grandma. So my grandma had fluid coming down her leg, but luckily she's fine. She's good. But it's just like, it was a nutso day. I couldn't believe that. Yeah, it was one of those weird days where just nothing went right, and yeah, it was just kind of crazy that it turned out to be that way in this video, or in this world, and in this video. It just, the timing of everything was just crazy. It's like, I had my first allergic reaction in 2 years, and then my grandma has fluid dropping from her leg and has to go to the emergency room. Boy, I feel bad for my family, but I do thank my family for helping me out whenever I called. All my family, my dad, my mom, my brother, and my sister were all very instrumental in helping me get through this. My sister also drove me to Walgreens to get my steroids, and because I couldn't drive home, because the ER people said, you're not allowed to drive home because we gave you Benadryl, and Benadryl makes you sleepy, so we don't want you driving on the road, so somebody else has to take you home. I was like, okay. So then I had my sister take me home because my brother was already at home, and then my sister came home, and my car is still at grandma's house, so my sister came to the house, dropped me off, got my brother, and then my brother went to grandma's house to drive my car home, and everything's fine now. I'm 100% okay now, at least. Not dead. Just taking the steroids. I don't even feel a thing anymore. So I'm past the allergic reaction, thankfully, and we are good and A-okay to go. And if anything changes, I'll obviously let you guys know. But yeah, please subscribe, share this with your friends, and turn on your YouTube notifications. I'm going to continue to do allergy and restaurant reviews despite what other people think or whatever people might say, or despite what happens. There's one thing you can't allow people to do, is ruin your life. And it's easier said than done. I 100% get that. But there are so many examples on my channels where I've had no allergic reactions. I've had a great time. I've eaten good food. And it's a fun time. It's great to go to different restaurants and try new foods. I love trying new foods, believe it or not. I love trying new restaurants. Yeah, there's not very many foods that I won't try. One of those foods is sauerkraut. I do not like sauerkraut. The smell is just so bad. It's like, ugh. Don't want to be near sauerkraut at all. But other than that, I guess maybe I'm not a big fruit person, like pears and oatmeal, there's certain types of oatmeal, I guess. I like oatmeal cream pies, dairy-free oatmeal cream pies, oatmeal cookies. But I don't like the straight up oatmeal in a cup because it looks like vomit to me. It's a texture and it's like, I don't want this. No thanks. But I do like trying a lot of foods, and I'm not a very big drink guy. I hate pop. Pop's disgusting. I've tried it before. It's nasty. I don't like lemonade. It's disgusting too. Like, I'm very interested. I know a lot of people are going to find that weird, but I just don't like it. I've tried it. I'm sorry. Like, my taste buds just don't like it. I've tried it. What do you want from me? Like, I just don't like it. I also don't like ketchup. I don't like a bunch of other sauces, dipping sauces. I do like, of course, you got icing, pizza sauce. Those are good. Honey, syrup, those type of things, butter. But I am not, and soy sauce, I'd say soy sauce, teriyaki sauce for Asian stuff, I'll eat those too. But I'm not the biggest sauce guy. Like, like I guess there was a teriyaki wing sauce that I ate for Smoky Bones in, I think, February, because I couldn't get an option that had no sauce on the wings. It was alright, but I could definitely be like, wow, this is so much better without the sauce. And I know weird takes, but that's just how I would react to everything, and that's kind of where my taste buds are. And some people are probably not going to be happy about that. And again, I know not everybody's going to be happy with me and like everything that I got to say, but I know that there's people out there that do like what I'm saying. And if you have related to me in some way, please let me know in the comment section. I'd like to hear from you, or I'd like to know that my message is coming across, at least, because, I would definitely appreciate people trying to understand about food allergies, because I think this is not a left or right issue. This is not a political issue at all. It's about trying to save lives for food allergies, and this should be bipartisan support, where bipartisan people should be like, all right, we need to have these allergen menus. We need to have stronger food allergy laws so people know what's in their food and what's not. Because when you don't know what's in your food, or when a mislabeling happens, and you think you know what's in your food, but it turns out to be the complete opposite, it's kind of one of those things where I had an allergic reaction, and that's kind of my story here. And this is the longest allergy restaurant review I've ever done in my life, and I am going to say goodbye, and I want to thank you so much for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.